Hey y'all, welcome to Boozy Bees Books and Cocktails. I'm Dana B. Thank you for joining me again. This is number 12, I think, 12 books, and I'm so excited to have you guys here. This week is Kentucky Derby week, and so I'm going to talk about a horse book and Kentucky Derby cocktail is the Mint Julep, and so we're going to do that, which goes right along with this book. So again, thank you for dropping in. The book is called Horse by Geraldine Brooks. This is my second time to read it. First time is when it came out, and I loved it so much that I did share it with my dad. He was losing his sight at the time, and so he listened to the Audible book as I did. And the reason I suggested this book to him because it was about a horse, and it kind of went old times, 1850s, then 1950s, and then 2019. And I love the way that the author, Geraldine, put all these stories and wove them together and brought them back about the horse. So let's get into the book. Like I said, it does cover 3 different stories, and they all intertwine. And that's one of my favorite kind of books. I love historical fiction, as you know, and I love to go back and Google things. And so what Geraldine Brooks has done is she's taken a lot of the true story about this horse and filled in what she thought might have happened or could have happened. So the horse is Lexington. When it was born, it was called Darling, and the owner was a plantation owner, and his trainer was a free black man, and his son was the groomer, and his son was an enslaved young man, black man. And the relationship between, they called him Black Jarrett, and Lexington is just a absolute beautiful, beautiful story. And it is true, I don't know how much of it is true, but there are photos and not photos, but portraits done, and they even put Black Jarrett in the portraits, and these portraits are in the Smithsonian. And then the skeleton of this horse, Lexington, is actually in the museum in Kentucky. So there's a lot of documentation about the history of this horse, and he sired a lot of horses. It's just quite an interesting story that what they did was they raced these horses, and back then, of course, everybody had a horse or was going to have a horse, and so to race these horses was a big, big thing. And there were men that made a lot of money back then at the beginning of these races. And they even talked about that Lexington was so fast that at one of the races he had lost a race, and then the owner said, well, he's the fastest horse out there. They mass produced stopwatches so that the people out in the audience could actually, check the race. And it was such a big ordeal. And like I said, these men made millions upon millions of dollars off of these horses and the enslaved men and men that trained these horses. And it's just now that they're coming out to understand what the process was for these black men that trained these horses. And so that the story goes from 1850s, 60s to 1950s, and it talks about this lady, and her mother was a horse racer, and she owned one of the sires of Lexington. And so her mother passes away, and she gets money, and so she starts an art gallery in New York, and her name's Martha Jackson, and she has as friends with Jackson Pollock. He actually bought her sports car that he died in after she traded some of his artwork for her sports car. And she ends up with a painting from a descendant of the Black Jarrett family. And so she buys the painting and helps the family, the descendant. He wants to go to medical school, and so she buys the painting so that he can have the money to go to medical school. And then in the 2019, we have Jess and Theo, and Jess works for the Smithsonian, and she researches skeletons. And one of the skeletons she's researching, and this lady from Australia comes in, and she's looking for a particular set of bones for this horse. And in the Smithsonian, it's just labeled horse. And so Jess is like, oh, I think I know where these bones are. And so they start putting the horse's bones together and researching it, and come to find out it is Lexington. And so Jess meets this guy, and this guy happens to have a painting that he found in the garbage. And so through Jess, he gets the painting cleaned, and come to find out it is one of the missing paintings of Lexington. And so all these people throughout this history, it all comes back to this horse that was just a treasure. It was such a treasure that the horse was buried when it died. It lived for 25 years. They put it in a wooden casket and buried it up on a hill. And then later on, they came and uncovered the horse's bones and reconstructed it. And like I said, it's back in Kentucky. So this horse that lived so long ago and did so many things is back in Kentucky. And it sired all these horses, and you can go and look. Please look it up and make sure, Perkness was one of the horses that this horse sired. So I don't know the lineage, but I'm sure if you're a Kentucky Derby fan, you're like, oh my gosh, Dana, you're just killing this. But the book is wonderful, and it's not just about Racehorse. It is about race. It is about the Black history and how it was just so hard for them. They couldn't own the horse. They were given this horse, but back then they couldn't own a horse, but they owned it. And so it's just a touching story. It's a great story, and it just touches on racism, and it's just a great history, to me, history book. So I hope you'll check it out. But we're going to talk about the cocktail now, which I love. I love the cocktail as much as I love the book. And what other cocktail could I even halfway make? We had to go with the Mint Julep, and it's so easy to make. So it's very easy to make. The original cocktail that the Kentucky Derby serves is with the Woodford Reserve. So I actually had that in my cabinet today. So we're going to make it with that. The Kentucky Derby actually makes their simple syrup, mint simple syrup. And I have simple syrup. I don't have mint. I mean, I don't have mint simple syrup, I'll say. But I can, kind of get through it. So what we're going to do is, if I can get this thing out, we're going to do, it calls for a half an ounce of simple syrup. And then I'm going to muddle the mint leaves in with the simple syrup. And I am funny about muddling. I like muddle, but I don't like it to where it's gets in the drink and gets in your teeth and stuff. So we're going to take some mint, fresh mint. And Anders Ericsson says you spank it to release the oils, and I love Anders Ericsson, so shout out to him. So we're spanking it, And oh my gosh, I wish y'all could smell it. It smells so good. So we're just going to drop these leaves down. And muddling, you're just releasing the oils is basically what you're doing. So I'm just pressing down on it. And I'm not going to like muddle it really, really bad because, again, I don't like that the leaves are broken up. I like for them just to set down in there. So I'm just squishing it down in there basically for just a little bit. And oh, it just smells so good. I love mint. Love, love mint. So I'm going to put my crushed ice, and that's what I have in here. We're going to put it in our glass. And y'all, last week after I got done filming, I broke my crystal coupe glass, which just made me want to cry. My lights fell down on my, after I got off set and I was putting stuff up, my light that Ross gave me fell down and broke my crystal coupe glass. So I didn't even get to enjoy my Manhattan last week. We kind of crushed it. And then it's 2 ounces of Woodford Reserve bourbon, Kentucky bourbon. And then, y'all, that's it. You just dude it up. And they put lots and lots of ice in it. It usually is served in a pewter glass. And I don't have one of those. I like mint juleps once a year. And that's about it. I'm not a big mint julep fan. Although I like all the ingredients in it. I don't know why I don't like it. But there you go. That's a mint julep. Can you see it? So we're going to give it a little taste. Ooh, that's good. Woo, woo. It is bourbony, though. So just hang on to your hats. Your derby hats. I don't have one. So thank you so much for hanging in there. Remember, the book is Horse by Geraldine Brooks. This week is Derby week, so this would be the best book to read. Shout out. Let me know how you like the book. If you've already read it, if you've not read it, if you want to read it, let me know. I would love to hear from you. Next week is Verity. Oh, gosh, Verity. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It is we're going to see how we get through it. It's a good one. Thank you again. I hope you will like, share, and subscribe. Comment. Please comment. I would love to hear your comments. So thank you very much. Have a good evening and go Derby.